Welcome to Padel Smash Academy.
And we are all things paddle.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for coming on the Padel Smash Academy. And why don't you talk to us a little bit about how you introduced to paddle?
Yeah, so I grew up in a tennis family. I played tennis. I coached tennis, all aspects of it, from juniors, colleges, pros. In 2020, I got out of coaching, kind of fully as a full-time career, and I entered the nonprofit space, and I became the CEO of Youth Tennis San Diego. It's a big organization, started in the 50s. And it has a large outreach component to it to grow the game of tennis. It also operates and owns the Barnes Tennis Center, which is a very big facility in San Diego. So I oversee the facility. And in 2020, when I got the job, I had a coach. His name is Askan Luderoth, who's one of the partners of Tactica. He said to me, Ryan, there's some space here at Barnes that we think would be great for some paddle. And I said, okay, great. What is that? He goes, oh, you don't know what it is? Yeah, it's this massive sport, all over the country. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm open to it. Let me know, give me a presentation, bring something to the office. And so he came to my office. He showed me some videos, kind of gave me like a one pager. And I said, that looks really cool. I love doubles, right? I think I was probably a better doubles player. Paddle is doubles. And I said, I'm interested, but, look at this court. What is this? And he said, okay, well, a friend of mine has a court in his backyard. You want to go and play? Can I bring you up? Sure enough, it was Gabriel Perez Carib, who's our chairman and co-founder of Tactica. So I go to the house. I walk down the steps. He's got some amazing players there playing, and it's just beautiful. And I was like, okay, I got to play. I'm a competitor. And anyways, I got to play, and they gave me they pitched a presentation and a potential partnership. And here we are.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's how it started.
So now, was there any other paddle clubs at that time?
Well, nothing during COVID, right? So everything was shut down. All clubs were shut down. So there were 2 courts at a YMCA in San Diego. I didn't play on them. I didn't know about them, but they had been shut down. But there was a community that was started. So when we opened when we opened Tactica at the Barnes Tennis Center, we started with 3 courts. We're very close to the border, right? So paddle, we had probably a little bit of a head start than our club in Los Angeles or Northern California because people already knew about paddle. So we put 3 courts in, booked all day.
Wow.
I couldn't get a court. I was literally, inviting my friends that I could play with at 6:30 in the morning, 7, before we would even open the club, so I could have a court to play.
You're hooked. You were hooked.
I was hooked. Yeah. I mean, I've been playing tournaments now, and so then we put 4 courts. Now we have 7 courts. So
wow. So you guys have 7 courts. 7 courts in total now at Tactica.
Tactica San Diego, we have 7 courts. In Los Angeles, we have 4 courts. And in Northern California, right now, we have 4 courts.
I wanted to ask you about that because I'm part of the project that we're putting some courts up in San Francisco. And I know you guys are doing something in the Pacifica University, right?
Yeah. So we have the University of the Pacific.
University of the Pacific, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing, we have 4 paddle courts that should be open in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, just waiting on the permit.
Fantastic.
8 pickleball courts there. And then we just signed an agreement with Lifetime Activities, and we will put 40 courts in across the Bay Area with the 6 tennis clubs that they have.
Beautiful. And let me know in LA, I know you guys did, you make an agreement with the UCLA or one of the universities. Is that possible that you put some courts?
No, I wish. That would be a dream. No, we are partnered with AEG, Dignity Health Sports Park. It's at the Major League Soccer team, the LA Galaxy site.
I got it. Good. Excellent. I mean, that's super exciting. I mean, having entrepreneurs like you making Padel Growth here in the United States. So where do you see? My background is very similar to yours. It's tennis, and then I moved into paddle and all that. Where do you see paddle going from here now? I mean, now you're in the thick of everything.
Where do I see it growing?
Yeah.
And going? So I think it's going to be, I think we're going to have a ton of courts here in the United States within the next 5 years. I think it's going to require, a lot of capital, a lot of investment groups coming in to be able to do this. I'm speaking to the choir. You guys are a part of this because it's not an easy thing to do. While constructing a court is easy, it's a process, right? It's not like pickleball where you just go put a court down, paint some lines, you're done. You got to get a permit. You've got to construct it. You've got to build awareness, right? So as you'll see in the Bay Area, hopefully not, but in Los Angeles, there's not a lot of players, right? There not many people know what it is. There's a lot of traffic. You've got a lot to do a lot of different things. So I think it's going to depend on the areas of the country, what you're going to see grow fast, grow slowly, but regardless, it's going to grow because it's a social sport, it's a spectator sport, it's a participatory sport, and it's one of the best sports in the world.
From the permitting point of view in the West Coast, or especially in San Diego, is it difficult if you have the capital to open a court? I mean, because here in Florida, it takes forever, with the hurricanes and all that. Is it difficult in the West Coast to get those permits going?
Yeah, it is difficult. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not easy. If you're in San Diego or if you're near the coast, you have the Coastal Commission, right? So you have the city, you have the Coastal Commission, you have all of the requirements that you have to do. And then you have you have to have a general contractor. You have to submit your designs and your drawings to the city. And while we know, constructing courts, you don't need all this stuff.
Yes.
They're going to say, well, you need X, Y, and Z, which is ridiculous, right? Yeah. So in my opinion, this is my opinion alone. I don't want some arrows in my back, but they want you to, construct a apartment building for a slab of concrete with a court.
Actually, we just built 3 courts here, and exactly that. They made us put 12 feet pilings in each court, deep. I mean, same thing that you will build a 4-story, apartment just for one court. It's just crazy, but hopefully, eventually, they will, come to their senses.
I think that's going to be the growth of the sport, right?
Yeah.
It's not just growing the sport so people are playing. It's the whole ecosystem, right? So you go to I'm going to town hall meetings to talk about paddle so I can get it into parks and recreation groups. Yeah. And you have to go through that process. It's not just about the sport and people actually playing. It's the government level. It's the political level. It's everything to establish it in this country.
Good.
So it's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of time and people like us that are willing to go out and do it. But yeah, it's fun. I think I made a comment, probably not a smart comment on one of my last city calls. I said, so where's the escalator? Where's the elevator? Nobody said anything, but.
So I got a question. Who's your market down there in the West Coast? Because here in the East Coast, down here southeast in Florida, Miami, it's mostly first generation Europeans, also first and second generation Latin Americans. So who's your market down there in the West Coast?
I'm saying everybody and all. And for us with partnering with tennis clubs and groups like that, it's racket sports. So our market is racket sports, but again, it's everybody. So, the case study in San Diego is, it's kind of funny. We know when the Kuwaitis are coming. We know when the guys from Dubai are coming. We know when the Scandinavians are coming because they all kind of book together because it's a social sport. But now, being in business for a couple years, you're getting a lot of Americans and you're getting a lot of locals starting to play the game. The more that they see it, online, if they see it on a documentary, or, now they're starting to try it. For us, we have 25 tennis courts and 19 pickleball courts as well. So eventually they see paddle and now, it might not be right when they see it, but over time they try it and then they get hooked.
So do you see a lot of traction with multiple generation Americans now starting to play paddle?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You see everybody now.
Yeah.
And the great thing is
Right.
when we can go out and see 7 courts full of people we don't know, it's growing.
Yeah, and you hit it on the nail on the head right there. Now, and I see that in the Northeast where country clubs are taking some tennis courts away and putting pickleball and paddle, and now they're becoming racket sports. And then you get the crossover in between people playing tennis, they see paddle, they want to try it out, and then they get hooked and all that. And I think what you guys are doing there is fantastic because now you get all 3 different racket sports into one place, and people can try all different sports and really make the population of the paddle world grow faster.
I think that's key.
Yeah, that's the
really
key. I mean, that's fantastic. Good idea. So tell us the big white elephant on the room, the PPL AllStar Game coming up to next weekend onto your club. Tell us all about it. How did it come out there and all that? I mean, who was the one? How did you attract them to you?
Well, before we get into that, let's start with the Stingrays, right?
Yes, exactly.
How did that come to be? How did you put together a franchise? And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a great partnership group here in Tactica in San Diego. So we have, there's several groups or there's a group of us, and very connected with paddle, the whole paddle industry, whether that's in Europe, South America, United States, every aspect of paddle, we probably have our hands in or have relationships. So we knew that this league was a dream, and I think Gabriel Perez-Crib, our chairman and co-founder, was a part of those initial discussions, from my understanding. So we knew that it was coming out, this league, and we were offered an opportunity to buy a franchise. We said we are not going to be the first franchise, but we'll be the second. So we knew what was going on, well before it was out there in public. But we just believe in it because not only just for the professional, and the opportunities and money and all the great things professional sports do, but for us, it helps our ecosystem of building and growing paddle, specifically in the West Coast, right? So I'm the tournament director of a WTA tournament, of an ATP tournament. Really, why do you do those things other than wanting to make money? You grow the game, right? You have kids in the stands that say, I want to be Coco Gauff. I want to be that. So for us, that's a part of it as well. And it's a part of that whole ecosystem of making sure paddle is growing in the United States, and we can grow Tactica along with it. So that's the short version of why the Stingray.
Great. Now, I looked at the PPL as a success, and it gave the U.S. And international players a platform to compete in. Are there any new changes in 2024 for the PPL?
Yeah, a lot of new changes, drastically different than 23. So 23 was kind of a shotgun start. Let's go. How do we get this done? Now we have a management group, Inside Out. Sports management is running the league. They were very successful in Major League Pickleball, very successful in the tennis industry as well. So we have some sophistication around the changes that we're making. We're going to have a full calendar season. So the season will start in April and in November, with a lot of different activations, around those things to continue to grow awareness and have enough collateral assets to build the sport in the league. As you see, we have more international players joining the league. So we have a different roster system. San Diego alone, we were able to bring on some of the best players, including others we're announcing now. I'm extremely excited about Lamperti coming. I'm new to the sport, but whenever I would go on YouTube, I would always look for him because his style, his engagement with fans, his passion. So when we signed him, I was really pumped amongst the other players. But, so you see this talent come now to North America and U.S. soil. That's just going to grow the game. We have the PPL All-Star Game this Saturday on Tennis Channel. That's going to be huge. And so, yeah, I mean, there's so many things we could talk about that.
So you're saying you signed up Miguel Lamperti. Can you tell us who else you signed up before the draft?
You got Jacobo Blanco too, right?
Jacobo, yeah.
Yeah, Jacobo. Yeah, we had Jacobo in 2023 along with Matias Almada. Okay. Those two players were with the Stingrays. We've re-signed them. They didn't lose a match last year together as a team, so excited about them. Maxi Sanchez as well.
Wow.
That's
man.
good. I mean, you got
you guys want to win.
You guys are big weapons, baby. I like it.
Wow.
Yeah, our women, Lucia and Carmen,
Yeah.
Lucia's fourth in the world. Carmen is young, but, she's the future. We're really excited about our team. But the great thing is you see the other teams who they are announcing just as, talented, just as good players,
Yeah.
which means that the league has got the best players in the world.
Yeah.
That's going to drive Americans to want to develop over time. It's going to take some time. That's going to drive Mexicans. That's going to drive the rest of the world to say, hey, just like the other sports, we want to be in the PPL.
Yeah. So Ryan, let me tell you, the format for 2024 is going to be the same thing, where they just go to one place, all the teams, and they just play it out, or how's it going to be?
Yeah, so it'll be different. So with 12 franchises in 2024, we'll have a Western Conference, we'll have an Eastern Conference. So you'll have Western play, just like the NBA. You'll have Eastern play. They'll all duke it out over the course of the calendar. That then will qualify for the conference championships, that then qualify for the PPL Cup.
So, but they play home and away each other, and then they just, is that the way it works, or?
No, not yet. Not until we can get enough facilities. So
Okay.
What we'll do is for the West and the East, they'll choose one location to play these conference matches, this round robin, if you'd call it. And in the East, they'll choose a location. We don't have those locations yet. We're obviously hoping it's San Diego.
And please, Miami, we'll beg you, Miami. Okay.
Yeah. It makes sense. I don't make those decisions, but with the followers and the amount of players, Miami would be awesome. So you're right. They'll all come to one location for the West, one location for the East, etc. Eventually, the dream is that every team has their own site. A few of the teams now do, but that's the goal.
And that's how many times, how many different sites? Is it 3 per season, or 4, or how many times they get together to play each other?
I don't know who they're going to choose for the which location will be the PPL Cup. So to give you an example, for the PPL All-Stars, we're playing at Tactica. We have a partnership with Padel Galice. So we sell, install, own Padel Galice courts. We have the exclusive rights here on the West Coast. We have one of their World Padel Tour temporary courts. So we're constructing it on our stadium tennis court. Okay. You could do that anywhere, right? So we can go in Madison Square Garden, put a court down. You see what A1 did in New York City. So I don't know what locations the PPL and Inside Out will choose, but hopefully they're in markets with a lot of paddle players and spectators and sports.
Great. So now let's talk about the big white elephant, the AllStar Games, and how it came out to you guys. Who was the idea behind it, and how what's going to happen?
So so how it came to us, I think that there's a bid process. How do you bid for this? And also for the Western, I think there's a process that we all have to bid through. The PPL and Inside Out, they're the ones that choose it. With us, we run events. We run lots of tournaments. Again, I'm the tournament director of one of the biggest female women's professional tennis tournaments in the United States and the world. So we have the experience of running events. We have the amenities at our facilities. Those all go into being able to host an event like this. West Coast, knock on wood that we don't get rain. We had rain yesterday.
Oh, I know.
But West Coast is a little different than the rest of the country in November, right, with weather. We have a lot of players here in the market. So it was just, I think, a great idea to bring it to San Diego for the inaugural, All-Star Game.
Now, who do you have participating on behalf of the Stingrays?
So we from 4 to 6, we have an exhibition match. So Juan Martin Diaz from New York is going to play with Lamperti. So for us, which is awesome. And then for the All-Star Games, the process was every team got to vote for who they thought were the best in the West, who they thought they were the best on the East. You can only vote for one player of your own. So you couldn't just put your whole team down. We got 3 players voted for from the Stingrays, from the other ownership group, which was really an honor. So we have a Cobo Blanco, he will play with Guga from Las Vegas, which is an amazing team. Mati Almada was selected as the alternate, and Silvana Campos was elected from the women as well. So we've got some Stingrays representing the All-Stars, which is cool.
Congratulations. That's two. Wow, that's amazing.
That's fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and the setup is going to be similar to, so for our viewers and the listeners, it's going to be similar to a tennis tournament where you have stands, you have food trucks, or you have places to eat. I mean, walk us through how the whole setup is going to be.
Yeah, so our stadium court where we build, for the WTA, we construct a huge stadium. This, we're making it smaller because we don't need to go big, right? First year, we're just trying to grow awareness. We want, butts and seats. So we're going to have this beautiful court. We have a VIP section with some stands. VIP will have food and beverage, a bar, catering, all those kind of things.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Then the about, I think we're at like 750 to 1,000 seats around the court. We have a cafe, a restaurant that the general public will be able to go and, buy sandwiches, coffees, smoothies. Tennis Channel will, we have a production company to film it. It'll be streamed on T2 from Tennis Channel. So that's going to be happening all Saturday afternoon. The cool thing about it is we have two major tournaments going on around it, tennis tournaments. So we have a ITF event as well as a local junior event. So we're going to actually have hundreds of people that have no idea this is going to go on that are going to come and watch. So
that's
it's going to be
that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's how you grow. That's how you grow the game, right? You happen to walk up times and be like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
So tell us what time and where viewers can watch the AllStar Games.
So I don't have the schedule of Tennis Channel at the moment, but I do know if you go to Pro Padel League and you go into the YouTube channel, they will have it on there as well. Okay. So that's where viewers can go. Again, 4:00 gates open. The exhibition players will start at 4 to 6, 5:30. Then the All-Stars start 6:00. That's when the matches come out. So the two men will play and then two women. And then if they split, the mixed doubles match.
That's awesome.
Great.
That's incredible. I mean, are you guys planning to do it year after year in the same place, or how's that process work? So every year they voted for some other places.
Yeah, they're going to vote it. Hopefully, for us, selfishly, it'd be great. They think this is the best, and we got to come back to San Diego for the All-Star Game. That would be great. But realistically, we shouldn't do that. Probably, we need to move it around. We need to grow the game. We need to grow the markets. So it would be great to have it in San Diego this year, East Coast next year.
Yeah.
And then hopefully Texas or in the Midwest. So we need to put the All-Star Games in different regions of the country, Canada, Mexico. Everybody needs to host this thing. So again, it would be selfishly awesome. Hey, we monopolized the All-Star Game, but not going to happen.
So Ryan, Tactica. Let's go back to Tactica. How big is the expansion that are you guys trying to stay only within the state of California, or you're planning to jump into other states and all that? What is their vision?
So the vision is 200 courts in California before we venture out of California.
Okay, and so far you're at 20, maybe?
Let's see, 7, 4, 4, and then in 24 we'll start with Lifetime. So not near 200, but we're going to get up to close to 50.
Yeah.
By the end or beginning of 2025, mid 2025, with just the contracts we have now. My job as the CEO is to go out and hunt for the best partnerships. So we are at 200, or we have other partnerships. That's my job, to grow Tactica, to grow the game. So we'll see, but we are open to other states and other ventures as long as it's appropriate for Tactica and it makes sense for our business.
Guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications.
And remember, it's free 99. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that subscribe button.
Thanks for tuning in to Padel Smash Academy. We hope you'll find our videos informative, helpful in improving your game and learning all things paddle.
So until next time, keep improving your game. And remember, learn, play, and share.